Okay, you asked for it, so here goes. Okay. I get so many of you guys asking, I can't even respond. So I don't have time. I'm like so busy to be doing other things to respond to Hobby Lobby questions. So, you're going to get it here live, and I don't think I've done a live post yet for you guys, but here goes. So, Hobby Lobby, everything you need to know in under 10 minutes. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to get this going for you, okay? The deal is with Hobby Lobby is that they know that the more teachers they have come in, the more people buy their stuff, and quite frankly, the instructors buy tons of stuff, okay? So, you just need to go in, ask for the person who's in charge of classes. It's usually the HR person or somebody that works in the back. Find out from them how you get on the schedule. It's free. Hobby Lobby does not charge you a room fee. They don't charge at all. They don't pay you either. The thing is they want you to do projects based on their products. Now, each Hobby Lobby is different. Some Hobby Lobbies allow you to just at least have one thing, right? My Hobby Lobby, they're like, just as long as there's something in your class that's from our store, we don't care what you talk about, which is funny to me because I'm doing an Oils of the Bible class this weekend, and they don't care as long as I just do something fun with Hobby Lobby items. Other Hobby Lobbies say that all items need to be. So they even have their own they have their own oil line, so Young Living oils can't be brought into the class. So sometimes as an essential oil person, you can't even bring your oils in because they have oils. It depends on the Hobby Lobby. Now, again, I can't answer that because I don't know your Hobby Lobby. I only know mine. So you need to find that out. You need to ask that up front. If your Hobby Lobby does not allow you to use any other thing other than what they sell, you say, fine, we will make things such as sachets that they can add the oil to later, or you make things like car diffusers that they can add the oil to later. So you can still talk about your oils, you just can't use them, okay? So you're doing projects and DIY fun things like diffuser necklaces and jewelry, and I mean there's all sorts of stuff that you can do, but there are some things, right, like that you wouldn't be able to use. And so as long as they don't carry it, like they don't carry sugar, so you would be able to do maybe a body sugar and then just say like add essential oil to it, but you should add mine, meaning like then just do a little oil 101. They don't come in and audit what you're doing, so it doesn't really matter. And I think at the end of the day, even if you were in there and you did an oil class and you didn't and they said you can't use your oils, they don't come in. I mean, I had my girl comes, my class doesn't care. She doesn't care. She's like, teach whatever you want. But anyhow, what I'm going to encourage you guys to do is just go in. And I think that all of you guys are overthinking it. Everybody asks me like, how do I do it? How do I approach them? I don't have any teaching experience. It doesn't matter. If you can teach a 5-year-old how to put something together, you're fine. You're a teacher. So go in and find out if they have room. And what that means is they'll usually say, so go on hobbylobby.com and look up your store. And there's a store class board, meaning it'll show you all the classes. It'll show you the class times, the whole schedule for your Hobby Lobby. And then you'll actually figure out when you want to teach a class. And you'll actually go in with a predetermined thing that you want to tell them. Like, I would like to do jewelry making. They don't care if it's diffuser jewelry. Just say jewelry making. I'm making these beautiful pendants. And go and, they don't care. They're not going to ask you to see it, by the way. So just tell them some ideas that you're going to tell them, the date, the time, and the class that you want to teach. You don't even have to mention essential oils. Honestly, you don't. You can just say jewelry making or, whatever. You can tell them it's an essential oil class. They're going to ask you, how, like if you can have they're going to want like some sort of promotional piece for their front. Most of them do. I pulled mine because to me it's useless. It's just, I don't know that people actually look at that. And so the question that came up, how many people have been coming? Nobody from the store. It's all me self-promoting. So just so you know, do not think that Hobby Lobby is going to advertise for you and you're going to get droves of new customers. That's not how it works. This is me having a spot that I can advertise to my people. So it's not like, come to my house. It's like, no, come to Hobby Lobby, because then it's more official, right? So I don't care. To me, their advertising is useless. Quite frankly, I love them, but I don't get anybody from Hobby Lobby. I will get the random like person that kind of wanders in and is curious, but then they leave. Like they're all, I'm like, come in. So do know that is not your target market. Your target market is your people, meaning get your team. Like we're going to do next month a speed oiling because we need a location and we need a cool location, and theirs is a cool location. So we're going to get 4 people. We're only going to do a 4-table speed oiling. And, each table will have a little like make and take thing, like something with using Hobby Lobby jars or Hobby Lobby jewelry or Hobby Lobby paracord, whatever. And so that's, just so you know, I one day went to Hobby Lobby and walked every single lane to look for things that they have that could translate to something to use as an essential oil thing. And so like my Oils of the Bible class, everyone is just going to make their own little sachet. So, and I found these the other day, like literally just walking down the lane, and I'm like, oh, those are cool. It's those stupid like pre-cut squares for quilting. And so I'm just going to have a bunch of quilting squares, and I bought lavender. You don't even have to do that. You could use their, like cotton, or something. Like we took wool, and I have it on my Instagram account, where you take wool and you just shear it. So you have all these little tiny wool pieces about the size of like little lavender pieces, and just put some oil on those, and then just literally put a rubber band around it, like, and make these little things. I mean, I have them all up on my website. So if you go to jenessentials.com, there's all sorts of stuff on there. We made the face wash at one point because those little jars are super cute, and it's from Hobby Lobby. Okay, so that's it. I mean, it's easier than you think. So stop asking me. I say that with love in my heart. I get these questions every day. Every day somebody asks me, can you please explain to me exactly. They always say exactly how you got in with Hobby Lobby. It's like, walk in, ask, do the class. Okay, it's not so hard. The hang-ups people have been having is where Hobby Lobby says, no, you can't bring your oils in. So I would just maybe not tout it as an oil class. Like, don't even say it's an oil class. Just say, I want to do a jewelry making class. And then the next time say, okay, so then how often should you do it? I was doing every week. That's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. It wears out your people. Do it once a month. That's probably the best thing that you can do. Offer a once a month thing. I'm being consistent. I'm doing the first Saturday morning of every single month, something. And so, it just makes it good. So hopefully, I mean, I have a lot of people signed up for this weekend. I have no clue how many people will show up. We've had large classes of like, and to me, a large class at Hobby Lobby would be like 8 people, and I've had classes where no one has shown up. So when nobody shows up, which happens to me, and I sit there and I think this is a colossal waste of time. It's not. I set everything up, and then I took pictures. I did stuff, made stuff, took pictures for the next class. Like literally started kind of like thinking, okay, what do I want to make? Be creative. You have the space. You can go, do the stuff. They want you to buy all the product beforehand, so you're not bringing any product from the store that's not paid for into the classroom. There's a whole list of rules on the classroom wall. You get a discount. You get like an employee discount. So when you go buy stuff, just say, hey, I'm one of the teachers, and they give you a 15% discount. So you can, and it's discounts on top of discounts. So if it's like 50% off the jars, you're going to get an additional 15% off. Again, depending on which Hobby Lobby you're at, that's what my Hobby Lobby does. So just know there's all sorts of cool stuff when it comes to Hobby Lobby, but I want you to be prepared. So pre-think out what you're doing. Make sure people RSVP. Don't overbuy. You can always return stuff, so don't overbuy in a big way though. Be real cautious about what you're buying. I have found that people will, buy too much stuff, and it's like us instructors. I remember returning an entire bag full of paracord stuff because I wanted to have their products there, but then nobody did paracord for that class, so I just returned it all because I already have tons of paracord stuff. So, okay, so that's it. I just wanted to give you a few tips. It's not hard. Just enjoy it. Just go in, get it set up, and then do it. Okay? And be respectful and actually advertise for them. So what I do for my Hobby Lobby is every time I'm doing something that has a Hobby Lobby product is I tag them in Instagram. I tag them on Facebook. I do hashtags for them. I just, I think it's fun for them to see kind of what their instructors are up to too. Okay, that's it. Thanks, you guys. I hope this helped, and no more Hobby Lobby questions. Okay, I hope that works. All right, bye, guys.